Hey guys, it's Christina of CraftyPaws. I wanted to come on and share a little accordion project. This is a Christmas project, obviously, and I am late, but I actually still need it because my little baby bandito has taken to drinking the Christmas tree water. So I'm going to be placing this around the base of my Christmas tree so that he doesn't get to the Christmas tree water. And what I did was I used this super cute Mama Elephant reindeer game stamp set, which I absolutely adore. It is so stinking cute. And I know a lot of people have done little spinners with them, as I did for each of these little panels. And what I did was I created the backs of these little reindeer. So you can see here. There's the fronts from the stamp set, and then I simplified them on my computer and made the backs for them so that they wouldn't look like they had two heads. I know most people don't care about things like that, but I am OCD and that kind of freaks me out. So I made the backs. I did want to give these away to you guys as digis, but I contacted Mama Elephant and they said that that could potentially weaken their copyright, and I would never want to do anything like that to harm a stamping company or craft company that works so hard to produce such adorable products. So unfortunately, I am not going to be able to give away the backs of these digis, but I did want to share the project with you guys. And of course, you guys can get this stamp set and use the mirror images to create spinners. So let me tell you guys what I did. I used this awesome paper pad that was gifted to me by Cynthia, who's the Scrappy Bookworm 1. Thank you, Cynthia. These blue papers with silver foiling are just gorgeous and were perfect to make this accordion. Then I used this die, which I think is so fabulous. I've had this in my stash, though, for a good year, and I got it in a D-stash, and this is the first time I'm using it. It's a little complicated, I have to admit. It's called the Album Accordion Flip 3D die, and it makes this kind of project. And I'm going to walk you through how I did this because it's actually more complicated than I thought it was going to be. And I had to do a lot of pulling apart and re-gluing and stuff like that. So hopefully I can avoid that happening to you. And what I did to create the openings was, this is actually a Diamond Die's DT project. I used this ornament die for this window right here. And I used this heart nesting die. I used the third one in that set. I used this labels, I think this is labels 1. It's a top note die, and I used the third one of that. These are both from Diamond Dies. And then I wanted to use a star, and the Diamond Die star doesn't quite fit. It's like too sharp, and there isn't enough space for the spinner portion. So I used the puffy star, which just barely fits onto this. Actually, if I were to do this again, I probably wouldn't use a star. I'd use like a circle nesting die set from Diamond Dies or scallop circle or something else, but it's already done. So it is what it is. First, I cut the panel and I used 2 sheets of the same 6x6 paper. I reversed them and then ran it through my Big Shot machine, and this is what comes out. Now, because I don't want this little tab to be too thick, I'm going to cut one of those off. You don't have to do this. It's just a little extra step. And I'm going to cut it off of this panel because this was the back side. So it's a little bit less finished. Now, I'm going to take both of these panels and run it through my Big Shot with an opening. I'll go ahead and use the star, and this, I'm showing you this just because it just barely fits. I've lined it up at the top with the star center, and I'm going to just use a little piece of washi to hold the die exactly in place. I'm running it through twice because this is foiled paper, and sometimes that's harder to die cut out cleanly. I also recommend running it through your die cutting machine a little slowly, crank it slowly, and it should come out very cleanly. This is the tricky part. So these tabs fit into the adjoining panel of the next section. So I want to do the same thing for this side. So I'm not going to glue this side right here, nor am I going to glue this side here of this panel. I'm going to glue everything else so that it's all secure together, but I'm going to leave these parts exposed as well as this area here for the tabs so that it can connect to the next panel. That's the big trick. But first, I'm going to lay in some strong score tape where I want the baker's twine or embroidery floss or whatever you use for your spinner. This score tape holds it in really securely. And now I'm going to take some art glitter glue and go all around this area. See, and I'm avoiding this area for the tab. And I'm avoiding this area over here, but I'm adding glue everywhere else. I'm going to use for my spinner some baker's twine. If I had like gold embroidery floss or something like that, I would use that, but I don't. So I'm going to just pull apart a baker's twine because I don't want it to be too thick, and I'm just going to cut off a little part of it. So it's actually 2 strands rather than 4, and I'm going to just try to align it right there, pulling it taut. Now I'm going to put this top panel on. And because it's liquid glue, you have a little bit of maneuvering time to just make those adjustments. And then I'm going to glue on the little reindeer. Add a little line of glue. And you'll notice on the backs of these reindeer that I have colored up and fussy cut out, I have colored the edges with black marker. And I did that because when you hand fussy cut something, it's not going to be exact. If I had the dies for these little deer, I wouldn't have to worry about that, but I didn't want the white of the paper to show too much, so I colored the backs that way. And I think those little details like edging with a marker and coloring in the backs like that make all the difference for a nice finished looking project. So that's the spinner. Now here I'm showing you how to attach 2 panels together. You take the outside of the panel that you left unglued and put the tab in from the other panel that you had left in, just the one side, and there I am aligning it to make sure there's a nice clean seam, and that's the 2 panels attached. Now you want the inside of the panels to be folded in the opposite direction. Sorry, it got a little blurry there, but there are score marks in the die cut where you're supposed to fold the inside panels in the opposite direction of the outside frames. So see, that's where you use the 2 inside tabs to connect the panels on the inside together. And here I'm separating out the front and the back. Now, if you didn't have backs at all to this project, then you wouldn't have to do all of the rigmarole that I'm going through, but I wanted this project to have a front and a back that were both attractive. And that's it. That's 2 panels being connected together. Finally, I used some Diamond dies, snowflake dies, and some punches that I had, and some foam stickers to further decorate this project. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and thanks so much for watching. Happy New Year, everybody!